Star Citizen has updated its roadmap, and there's a reasonable amount of information here. We've got some new bits for Alpha 4.0, including a more accurate time frame for its release, but also a load of features that have been added to the progress tracker, which hasn't been updated for 3 quarters. And that expands out the time to what it's actually tracking to early 2025, although it's not everything, and we'll come to that. So what is going on with these roadmap updates? CIG have given us a release window for Alpha 4.0. They said, we're adjusting the release window for Alpha 4.0 to Q4 2024. Alpha 3.24 and its update to systemic gameplay features has required extra attention to ensure necessary issues are resolved ahead of release, which has resulted in a lengthier PTU process. While work has continued on 4.0's features and technology simultaneously, we're making this adjustment to release timing to ensure Alpha 4.0 gets the proper amount of time in testing. So yeah, this aligns with what we expected anyway, with a sort of rough expected release between CitizenCon, which is sort of October 19th/20th, to some point at the end of the year, which for CIG is typically mid-December due to holidays. But it's nice to have CIG saying that because it's much less likely now to get pushed to 2025. They are expecting 4.0 to be released by the end of the year. It's, a Q4 window is 3 months though, and we basically knew that anyway as we're coming into Q4 now. They have also added a new feature to 4.0, which is repair, charge, and drain missions, implementing new missions that introduce engineering gameplay into the persistent universe. First appearing in Pyro's outposts, players will be tasked with going to a location, fixing wind turbines, relays, moisture extractors, or solar panels. This is done by repairing pipes with your multi-tool, charging batteries with the charge drain feature, or replacing broken components in the networks that are broken or missing. This is a lot of busy work when it comes to actually doing a mission. But it's busy work that I like. You can do it all FPS and all planet side. It will help you learn the layouts of outposts and areas. It's something to do when you haven't got a ship. Maybe your ship's been stolen or destroyed, or you're just wanting to do a load of stuff at an outpost. You'll be able to get better with general FPS gameplay. They sound relatively safe as well, but I suspect that we'll have different versions. These sorts of missions will be coming to Stanton at some point as well, but also expect them to expand these out to make use of more of the engineering gameplay planet side. Actually, engineering missions on ships aren't too far-fetched in the not too distant future either. Alpha 4.0 is hugely jam-packed full of features, with some of its most major features being jump points, server meshing, the pyro system, there's engineering gameplay, tons of updates to tons of other systems, those contested zones, just loads and loads and loads of stuff. Something else that CIG have now finally updated is the progress tracker. They said, we're excited to share the updated production schedule on the progress tracker through the end of 2024. We've made some changes to how the roadmap operates, reflecting the more agile approaches we're taking as we near major milestones. This has led to a significant shift in how deliverables are tracked, while still offering transparency into our team's focus. We've tweaked the system to give you better insights into what our teams are working on throughout 2024, with 2025 to come. Since Squadron 42 reached feature complete status last year, we've reorganized our teams into cross-discipline groups to prepare for the upcoming milestones, including 4.0, 1.0, and Squadron 42's launch. These teams now collaborate across various disciplines to deliver features and content, rather than being tied to specific resources focused on a single deliverable. As a result, deliverables are now tracked by the owner of each feature, which is how they will be displayed on the progress tracker moving forward. Downstream teams like audio, VFX, and others won't be individually represented, so downstream teams basically are at the mercy of upstream teams. When the upstream team's work is done, it goes down to the downstream teams, which then finish off the work. So this might be part of a ship or whatever that then audio or VFX needs to then finish off after the main art's been done. But now their work's being integrated into the main objective, the main sort of feature. So that's because of the cross-discipline nature of that stuff now, but it will show on the progress tracker as there's 200 weeks of work planned for this particular feature. This streamlined approach also makes it easier to find relevant teams with these new groups now featured at the top of the list. These new groups encompass all the disciplines previously displayed on the progress tracker, and we've adjusted how production schedules are tracked to accommodate the need for flexibility. Instead of pinpointing individual developers, we're using placeholder headcounts and disciplines for each deliverable. With this update, we're adding the core gameplay pillar, the character art and tech teams, both vehicle content teams, and the locations pillar to the progress tracker. Additional teams and deliverables will be added over time. Plus, as we continue to refine the production schedule for 2025, we'll populate additional teams, groups, content, and of course, make sure to tune in to CitizenCon less than 2 months away. So I'm going to be doing some deep dives into those features and the progress tracker. There is a good amount of new features that have been added, or at least some bits I wanted to highlight here. A little disclaimer with people that look at the progress tracker and what we're just about to talk about. Now, if it's on the progress tracker, even when it looks like it's finished work, that doesn't necessarily mean it's finished. It means that's its planned work schedule. That's when they're planning to have the work done for some of it or all of it, potentially. If it's not on the release view as part of a patch, then it's not necessarily going to be in the next patch or completed by when the progress tracker shows, because it might require a load of other work, for example, or they might have reprioritized, or that lots of other stuff could be going on there, is what I'm trying to say. Also, the progress tracker cuts off in early January 2025 at the moment, which might mean those features are completed, or the work that they've got planned for them is completed by then, but it could also mean that it's just cutting off then and there's a load more work to do. So some of the features I want to talk about are base building, which is now on there. This is all work encompassing the ability for players to construct and maintain bases, including resource generation, commerce, and customization. Although it says all work, bear in mind it's going to be the early implementation of base building that we get whenever we get it. This will have had a 45-week set of work done to it by January 2025, which is where the feature currently cuts off. So maybe it will be done then, the early implementation of base building. Maybe it will be ready for the next patch after that. The Polaris, people are really, really excited for this torpedo corvette. It looks set to be released at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, according to the progress tracker and what CIG have previously said. We'll have to wait and see though. Crafting. So this is the implementation of the ability for players to craft various items using resources throughout the persistent universe. We sort of have this very minorly with the sort of salvage ships, with the Vulture and the Reclaimer. You can sort of craft stuff there. Expect a much more expansive thing of being able to use potentially fabricators or work tables, stuff like that. A 53-week set of work is currently ending in, again, January 2025 for that. Squadron 42, polish. So this is the fine-tuning and refining of all aspects of Squadron 42's gameplay and that experience. A 69 nice week worth of work, again, finishes in January 2025 at the moment. I am expecting Squadron 42's release in 2025. I'm also expecting an announcement of a release date at CitizenCon this year for Squadron 42. FPS, radar, and scanning. So I've been waiting for this for ages, along with the vehicle radar and scanning, which is also mentioned. So improved signature system supporting much greater distances and dampening of signatures based on environmental factors. This is also going to be improved scanning, sort of driven by the radar and ping system available in ships and ground vehicles. Really excited for that. We saw some of this potentially at CitizenCon last year, the sort of Squadron 42 stuff, and they're still implementing that and bringing it across. There's also, as I said, vehicle and radar scanning updates as well. So yeah, a new improved vehicle radar and scanning system for better information about vehicle status and the contents of cargo and all of that kind of stuff. There's the FPS radar and scanning that has a 202-week period of work that ends currently in November 2024, and again ending in November 2024 is the vehicle radar and scanning updates here, which has had a 40-week sort of set of work. The quantum travel experience. They're updating the quantum travel mechanic to move players in a more physically realistic way and improve the general quantum travel experience, adjusting how spawning and calibrating works, how interdictions and exiting and entering work, all that sort of jazz. 181-week sprint ends currently in January 2025. I say sprint, that's a marathon. We've seen some of this as well already, where we know that you're going to be quantum traveling, you're going to be accelerating, and you'll need to be hands-on and actually controlling yourself while you're accelerating to keep yourself within the quantum corridor. And then once you have got up to max speed, you can basically go hands-off, but there will be a good few seconds where you are making sure that your ship stays within a tunnel before that happens. And if you don't, then you'll take distortion damage or whatever, and your jump might fail. There are also several unannounced ships and vehicles that are likely going to be turning up between now and early 2025. At least that's what it appears. Well, we know that's going to happen because we've got the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, we've got 3.24, we've got 4.0, lots of stuff. There's loads of other little bits there and lots of sort of dates and stuff that have been adjusted. I'll need to delve into that over the weekend, and then we'll get some videos out talking about that in a bit more detail. Lots of interesting information there, but I'm so glad that CIG actually released an update to the roadmap. Boom! That's it for your updates. Tell me what you think. Are you excited for Alpha 4.0? Do you think that, yeah, it's obviously going to be released at CitizenCon or just before or just after, or, yeah, by the end of the year? Or are you like, no, 4.0, that's going to be next year? No way are they going to be able to get it out in time for the end of the year. When they talked about 4.0 and 1.0 and Squadron 42's release, do you think they were talking about it in that order? Because that would be sad. Have to wait for a 1.0 commercial release of Star Citizen before Squadron 42's launch. I think they probably should have said in no particular order when they mentioned 4.0, 1.0 and Squadron 42's launch. But I'm sort of interested to know, do you think we're going to have a Squadron 42 Episode 1 release in 2025? Do you think they're actually going to have an announcement of a release date at CitizenCon this year? Are you excited for Alpha 3.24? It's got a load of features. It's cool for cargo. Or are you like, oh, no, I'm just on the hype train for 4.0. I'm just on the hype train for CitizenCon. Do you think this roadmap update was meaty enough? Obviously, we're going to get more in the not too distant future, hopefully. Or was this just CIG throwing us a bone to keep us quiet until 4.0, until CitizenCon? That said, CitizenCon is less than 2 months away. But whatever your thoughts or questions, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. You stand at the pearly gates. The winged being there weighs your sins against the weight of a feather. You are found wanting. Not a problem for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer though. Just change your location. Boom! You're in. Bypass your sin. Get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Probably not a tagline that Nord wants, bypass your sin, but that's what they're getting. Maybe they want one about its added security, privacy, or accessibility. Pah, everyone knows that. You get that at a touch of a button. Click these links below to get great deals on that VPN service. Every month we give away a ship, and this month of August is all about your favourite ships, because it's the ship showdown. My favourite ship is the Mercury Star Runner, and I don't want to give one of those away, but I will. It's a fantastic little multi-role, multi-crew ship. It's got a bit of cargo space, it's got room for a little vehicle, it's got a good amount of firepower, perfect little mission runner. In the future it's going to have data running, it's good for smuggling, it's got lots of secret little hidey holes. I absolutely love this ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during August. Also, I would love to know what your favourite ship is. If you would like to further support the channel, consider just commenting or liking, subscribing. That all helps. But also there's the join button under my videos. That goes a huge way to allow us to make daily content on Star Citizen. There's also Patreon, sharing the videos, direct donations. There's links to all of that down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. You take care and have a great day.